Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lena. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I make videos about books, social change, general mind fuckery, and other existential crises I might be having. Now, on the topic of existential crises, it's time to stop having them as much, potentially in 2019. That is my first resolution, I think. Might not be a smart target. If for those of you who haven't had to deal at work with the slightly annoying framework of the smart target, you will know my pain. But this first resolution isn't a measurable one, and I think that's okay. I want to trust myself more in 2019. I feel like I have a lot of beliefs and I have a lot of good gut instincts. I have been working this decade in lots of different jobs and roles and learning lots of life experiences, and I would like to start trusting myself to put those into practice. I don't really know what that means, but I feel at the moment I'm catching myself not trusting myself very much or not believing myself when I'm like, oh, I really want that thing. And it's like, well, do you want that thing? I want to make some decisions that in the calm of myself, I know are the things to do and stop playing my own devil's advocate. I might have some examples of that and how I've done that at the end of the year. But right now, it's not a smart target, but it is a good idea. And I hate on smart targets. Number 2 is my no buy challenge. If you haven't seen my latest video, I have decided that I'm not going to buy anything at least in this first 6 months of 2019. Now, I'm going to release my rules about that later, but I do have a list of rules about what I'm allowed to buy and what I'm not allowed to buy, because obviously if I break my toothbrush, I'm not going to let all my teeth fall out. But generally I want to go through a cleanse of not buying stuff. Not because I think that inherently buying things is bad, but because I think that capitalism and the consumerist nature of buying things has skewed my relationship with it, and I want to give it a restart and an intentional choice rather than a brainwashed one. So that is resolution number 2. Resolution number 3 is write 1 letter a month. I used to write, some of me and my friends at school used to write to each other, even though we were at school together every day, because we didn't feel like 9 till 3 talking to each other was long enough. We didn't feel like we had said enough, so we used to write to each other and give each other letters when we got to school. And I wasn't even that young. We did this during 6th form, guys. I was like an 18-year-old woman, but I loved it, and it made me feel really close to people. While all of the nostalgia around old things like tapes and records and letters kind of exhausts me on some level, I think they do have a point. I think that there was something really cool about writing people letters and taking time for that. So I'm gonna write at least 1 letter a month to somebody in my life. That might be somebody that lives in a different city to me, like school friends, or my godmother, or people that I don't get to see that much, or it might be people that I see every day, but I just want to have a random chat to them in a letter. So if you are one of my friends in real life, perhaps prepare yourself for a weird moment where you see me twice a week and I still pass you a letter with your name and address on it. Although if you are my friend, dealing with strange behaviour like that won't be out of the ordinary for you. Number 4, put more stuff on my Patreon. I post to my Patreon quite a lot. If you want to join, it means you're part of something called the Gumption Club, which is the coolest club on earth. And we have a secret Facebook group. I release audio poetry there and lots of other stuff. And I want to do more of that. I want to utilize it more. I want to spend more time with the people who have invested in me. So I want to be doing monthly live streams. I want to rejig how I do things there so I can give more stuff to it and to maybe just give more of my mind to it, because my mind is in so many places. I don't know, I'm getting more and more enthused and energized by those brilliant people who are from all over the world who are in that Facebook group and who give me so much encouragement and have so much energy about them. So I want to do that. If you're interested in joining the Gumption Club, I will leave a link below. You can join for as little as $1. Number 5 is to learn some French. I know. I come from a family of linguists. My mum lived in France for 4 years. My uncle married an Argentinian and lives in Paris with his 2 French children. My mum and dad lived in Brazil for a long time and speak Brazilian Portuguese. My dad lives in India and speaks Urdu and some Hindi, I think. And I have optioned out of that in my life a lot. For whatever reasons, I thought that other things were more important. And probably because I was surrounded by people who can translate for me, I just put it down on my priority list, really. And I kind of regret that now. And especially reading so many translated books last year. I'll leave a link up here to my video I did on all the translated books I read. I want to read some of those in French. It's a very long-term goal, and I'm not expecting to be fluent by the end of the year, but I just got this app that is hopefully going to help me get over my abysmal fear hangover of being not naturally good at languages at school, which I partly blame on the kind of flat way that languages were taught at my school, but also my ridiculous teenage apathy that when I was 14 I just thought I was going to like leave school, tap dance and join the circus. To me at that time, anything apart from reading, dancing and acting and singing were like surplus skills, but that is an emotional problem to unpack on another day. Reading those translated books made me think that one day I might be able to read a book in French. Which brings me to the lovely people who dropped me a line recently from the language learning app Babbel. When they told me they had a learning app that you can have on your phone and that only took 15 minutes per lesson, I was like, sign me up, my friends. So they are very kindly sponsoring this video, and also if I achieve this goal will be a big part of why it was a success. Fingers crossed for me. It covers all the bases: grammar, listening, talking and vocabulary, so I will not be short of things to get started on. Let me show you my favourite bit. Okay, either I'm here. At the moment I am pretending I am in Paris, because that's the kind of fancy pants person I am. So I'm like trying to refer to where the hell I am in Paris. So the guy will read it out like this.
Le quartier.
Le quartier. Ah, what? It's testing my pronunciation because it can literally hear what I'm saying, and it tells me whether I'm pronouncing it right, which I think is a problem with some language like learning stuff. You could like learn stuff in isolation on your own and then be completely not speaking the right pronunciation at all, so it's really good. But let's try again. Le quartier. Yes. Moderne. I'm very like...
Petit café.
Le... Okay, sorry.
Petit café.
Le petit café.
Des musées intéressants.
Des musées intéressants.
Des musées intéressants.
My favourite time is to use it in the morning when I get up, because I usually get up before everybody else, and I have my toast and nobody is there to listen to my horrible pronunciation. Plus it stops me from scrolling social media in the mornings like the fiend that I am. I'm loving the kind of real life phrases that I'm learning this time around with French. And you can kind of tell that people who actually teach languages have designed this app, which is, I use the app, but you can get it on desktop, Android devices, and any of your iOS devices. If that sounds like something you want to join me in, I'm leaving a link in the description to Babbel. There you can nab a 3+3, which means you can buy a subscription for 3 months and then you get 3 months for free as well. Pretty sweet. And I hope you do. I hope you join me in learning some kind of language or some kind of skill next year, like a language that will help you communicate with people more, because I don't think those things are always pushed as a priority in our culture, especially in Britain, and I think that it should be. So be the change you wish to see. Oui. Plan de vie. Number 6 is drink more water. Jeez, I don't drink enough water. I've been trying to. It is a struggle for some reason, seeing as my body is 70% water, although my body is probably about 30% water. I am noting in my diary every day that I drink a whole pint. I just whack some lemon juice in it as well, because it gives it I don't know, it just makes it easier to drink in the mornings. It wakes me up a bit more, and I'm trying to drink a pint of that every morning. And then hopefully that sets me up for the rest of the day to start being thirsty, because I feel like if I don't have that first glass, I'm just not thirsty until I have a headache. Look, none of these resolutions, nobody said resolutions had to be like big projects or like massive things. Sometimes they're just like simple things that the human body should be doing. So it's back to basics for that one. Next is eat food in. I live in London. I run around a lot of the time in my spare time, having fun and doing different projects in London, and I'm constantly picking up food on the go. It means that I'm being automatically handed these huge paper bags and plastic stuff to carry stuff in that I just don't need, and also I feel like it's giving me an unhealthy digestive system, because I'm just like shoving stuff in as I'm walking, not really chewing properly, not really being present with my food, and it's not on anymore. So next year, make time to sit in, ask for a ceramic mug, try and get everything on a plate instead of in a plastic thing, and sit with my food. Like, it's not hard, or is it? Apparently so. So yeah, I know that, is it cheating to put stuff like eating and drinking on my New Year's resolutions? Probably. I don't care. Next is collab more. I think collabing is such a cool thing on YouTube, and I used to do it a little bit, and I really miss it, and I think that it's cool. And I think that it's brought this kind of like rubbish dynamic to YouTube where like people collab to get subscribers or to cross-pollinate their audiences. I just miss when it was just like, because you both had something to say together, and because you like the video would be better with two opinions in it than one. And I also think I made good friends with people by collabing with them and by reaching out and being like, hey, we should collab on this specific topic. And it was fun, and it built bridges and it built bonds, and I want to see more of that on my channel next year. So if you have any suggestions of people you'd like for me to collab with, leave them in the comments below, because I feel like nervous about asking people to collab now. I don't know why. It feels like, I don't know, it's just started to feel like weird and grabby when it should just be a natural thing of like, hey, do you want to hang out and create something together? Yes. Next one. Everybody knew this was coming. I'm trying to write a book. I am at present about 50,000 words through, which is a lot of words. I would like to finish that book this year and probably have to rewrite the whole bloody thing. But I would like to finish my first draft this year and push myself to make it as good as I can get it, because it would just be a really personally satisfying project for me, as it consumes a lot of my waking hours and thoughts right now. Number 10, make my body a priority. I am, this year in 2019, I'm going to treat my body like a friend. Now, my life doesn't revolve around my friends. I'm not obsessed with my friends, but I give them a place in my life and I try and stick to those commitments. Like seeing them at least once in a while, sending them birthday cards, talking to them online or in person when they're having a problem. My body could at least be one of the friends in my life. I don't want it to be my partner. I don't want it to be an obsession of mine, but I don't think my body is even getting that role in my life right now. So I would like to prioritize my body a bit more in 2019. How does that work in practice, I hear you ask? Well, it means when I book a date in my diary to spend some time on my body and look after it, whether that is going on a walk or going to the gym or going for a swim, I don't cancel that lightly on my body for somebody else. I'm not like, you're my least favourite friend and actually my better friend has asked to spend time with me, so I'm going to go with them because I like them more. No. If I've booked a date in my diary with my body, I either apologise to it, reschedule, but I can't do that too often because it looks like I don't care, or I say no to that other thing that's being asked of me and go, no, sorry, I've got a date with my body. Which sounds like a masturbation joke, but it's not. I cancelled on my body a lot last year, and it probably thinks I don't like it very much. I'm probably a toxic friend for it, and especially when it's going through stuff or it's struggling, it needs extra support, and I'm like, give a shit. So I don't care if that sounds weird or like airy-fairy. For me, that makes sense to myself. That's a way I can explain to myself what's gone wrong and what needs to change. I'm going to make a mark in my diary every time I make a date with my body, and I keep it so we can count up at the end of the year how well I've done. Okay, thank you so much for listening to my New Year's resolutions. Reminder that the Babbel link is in the description if you are interested. Non-materialistic, non-physical purchases are my fave. Learning new things are my fave. Learning things to have a more inclusive and be more of a global citizen things are my fave. So it was just a no-brainer for me to partner with them. So thank you so much for listening about that. It really helps keep this channel going. Tell me your resolutions in the comments below. I think it's easy to get carried away with resolutions and try and change everything about yourself. But I hope I've set goals for myself that just upgrade my life a little bit, make it a bit more, nip it at the buttocks, sprinkle glitter on it a bit more. And I'm really looking forward to updating you at the end of the year as to how I have done. She says. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this channel and you find that you're getting stuff out of it, I really appreciate your support. You can support this channel by liking this video, sharing it with a friend, turning off your ad blocker, and or joining the Gumption Club. That is a Patreon only group that I run, all about being shrewd and spirited in your life, especially when it comes to creativity, but also when it comes to following through on your ideals and your beliefs. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Frog Snog out.